Hey, Bowie TV watchers. This is your Ravens Rundown with Carita Parks
Hey, hey,
and
hey.
Candi Waller. I'm hosting while Carita runs down the NFL schedule and all of the exciting news while we were all watching schedule leaks. The Baltimore Ravens were extending Derrick Henry, like you all look over there while we're doing this.
That part, that part.
Oh, that was so funny. I had just been like, what are they doing? Karita's like, I'm going to ease
I
on
mean,
in
I enjoy his peace and quiet,
this. Mm.
and that was literally 2 minutes long.
Yeah, I guess I need to stop talking about the Ravens. I feel like I'm jinxing stuff
Listen,
here.
I was gonna tell you you need to stop putting stuff out in the air because every single time some follow up occurs.
Yes, it does. It does. That is true. But let's get on into this schedule. I'm about to pop up the schedule, Carita. Now, I did mention this on the Commanders update that we get to see each other in the preseason. So, yay, Bowie TV in the house for for exactly for preseason. But let's get into this schedule. Give us your breakdown on all the things the Ravens NFL schedule.
Well, you can see they have four primetime games, so that of course jumped out. One of those primetime games being Thanksgiving, and the Ravens have played on Christmas 2 years in a row. So I thought they were getting a holiday break, but the NFL said no, no, no. Thanksgiving this year, so they'll play Thanksgiving, but at least it's at home. It is a home game,
Mhm,
and so
mhm.
I think that kind of helps. So that'll be exciting. The first 5 games of the season, yeah, the first 5 games of the season are all against playoff teams.
Mhm.
And is that hold on now? Is that the Browns? No, we okay, yeah, because I was about to say the Browns. Um,
Right. This
but
is
five of those
an
6
instant
games,
reaction. We're doing instant reactions, like for real.
right? I was like, hold on now, no, but 5 of those 6 games are against playoff teams, and then of course, week 1 is the rematch of the AFC divisional game, so that'll definitely get some views. But truth be told, I'm like, great if the Ravens win that game, wonderful, but we don't really care about a week 1 win. I mean, we do for the record, but it would have been nice to get that win in the playoffs. But for the record, it's very important for them to come out strong and win that game 1. What else? There's like 3 straight road games somewhere in here. Oh, I see. Darrell has our wonderful Darrell. He has it color coded. So there we go. Week 12, 13, 14. So they have 3 away games in that stretch. One of
Mm.
them being division rival Pittsburgh Steelers. And then just like last year, they are wrapping up the season against the Steelers, but also they have a road game against Green Bay.
Mhm, mhm.
So, and don't listen to me. Go back to the schedule, Candi, because
Mhm.
apparently I am colorblind. Week 12, 13, 14. That is not away. What I was thinking of
Yeah,
was the week 9, 10, and 11. Those are the 3 away games I was
right.
uh,
No
referring.
shade. I was pulling for you to go to Spain. I was like, ooh, maybe the Ravens can go to Spain to see if Miami don't win.
Maybe next year they'll have an international game, but this year they are in the States. They have that Thursday night game against the Dolphins, which we'll see depending on where both teams are. That could just be an intriguing nighttime matchup. So yeah, those are some of my first impressions of the schedule. On the road with Kansas City again. I was wondering though why the Ravens are going back to Kansas City and Kansas City isn't coming to M&T Bank Stadium only because last year the Ravens were on the road and they opened against the Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just a little random thought that came to
Yeah, so
mind.
they're opening on the road again.
Yes, against the Bills, which is not an easy task.
No,
Like I
no.
said, those first 6 games are going to be very telling because the Browns is still a divisional matchup, and no, based on paper right now, we're not anticipating that they're going to be that good of a team. But those divisional matchups, those are the toughest matchups, and the Ravens lost to the Browns on the road last year when Jameis took over.
Mhm.
And that was a game that they had no business losing. So you can never just say, like, oh, you can't write the Browns off because it's a divisional matchup and those teams know each other so well that sometimes it doesn't matter how good or bad a team is in that situation. But those first couple weeks are going to be telling with that division matchup and then going against playoff teams. Like, if you can win a good amount of those and the season's looking pretty good. Last year, they got off to a slower start, so it's going to be important for them. I mean, they got off to a slow start where it was like, are the Ravens going to be good this year?
Right,
But
right,
so this year
right.
they need to get off to a fast start.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling because from a prime time perspective now I'm going back to the schedule because they don't remember last year it was like
They had
your your
yes,
life was getting in at 3 a.m. because
oh yeah, it
everything
was
was
like
prime
6 or
time.
7. It was 6 or 7 primetime games last year.
So
So
I was like,
yeah,
that might be design.
four
That might
primetime games, I was like, okay, this is manageable.
right. I mean, it was outrageous. It was a lot of them, however many it was. I was like, good
Yeah, yeah. It
grief.
was 6 or 7.
Oh my gosh. I was
You're
like,
right. My life was getting in at 3 a.m.
yeah.
Getting in 3 a.m. or yeah.
Whether it was home or away, it
Mhm.
was an 8 o'clock game. So you were getting in very late. So are there any, like you just said, you can never sleep on the Browns. The teams know each other very well. So are there any always the divisional games, right? But outside of the divisional games, are there any of those opponents that give you some pause? Like I think you got it almost feels kind of similar because you got the Lions, the Vikings, the Packers, then I saw the Rams up in there.
Yeah, I mean, they are definitely going against, they have the ninth toughest strength of schedule this year, which I believe is a little bit better than last year. So this is actually a little bit not as tough as their schedule last year, but that's not to discount anything. I think the Lions, I mean, that's prime time. If the Lions are still at the same level they were when they ended the season last year, because I mean they was rolling, if we being honest, like that was a team that was like they're going to the Super Bowl until they
Lost.
went up against the Commanders and lost.
Right.
So I
That
mean,
bye week might have hurt them. That bye week.
right, the Lions, I would say that could definitely be a very tough matchup. The Chiefs, I mean, the Chiefs are going to be tough, and that could have playoff implications down the line, more than the Lions. So the Chiefs are always going to be a team to look out for. And like you said, the Rams, but the Rams are coming from the West Coast. They play the Ravens at home. That doesn't mean anything, but the Ravens, I feel like, have a little bit of an advantage because this is a 1 o'clock game for the Rams. That's early.
That's early.
Yeah, that's early coming from the West Coast. So, we'll see, but that could be an advantage for them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
One
Yeah,
thing I wanted to know, they have a week 7 bye week, and the past 2 years, their bye week has been like week 14. Both of their bye weeks, I believe, were in December the past 2 years. So
mm-hmm.
they get a decent bye week
Right.
this year. So that jumped out to me. The funny thing is that probably jumped out to me before everything else, because I was like, oh, they get a bye week early this year. Let's see. And like you said, the divisional matchups are always going to be tough. Like, you can't write anybody off as far as that's concerned. And then the Packers, Jordan Love, I mean, that's going to be week 17. That's the time where the playoff picture starts to become clear. And no, they're not in the division, but that the Ravens record is gonna matter.
Right.
So the Packers, Jordan Love's been good, and the Packers were good last season. So I mean, there's a lot of teams on here that could be interesting. I don't know what the Dolphins are going to look like this season, if I'm being honest, but I am looking forward to a Miami game just because it's Miami.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not complaining about Spain, but I was like, oh, we're gonna go back to Miami. And it's like, well, maybe Carita can go to Spain, but you're the one that gets to go to Miami.
You're just trying to ship me off to Spain real bad, huh?
Maybe, maybe the Ravens will go. I think I said it to you in the early.
I wasn't even worried at all that the Ravens would have an international game. I don't know why, but I just did not feel like that was going to be the case.
Have they been? No, they were not last year.
London, not last year, but the year before.
Okay, so they've had they're like everybody else. Go do that.
Yes,
we've had enough. So with that being said, I know we opened joking about the Ravens extending Derrick Henry. What are your reactions and thoughts to that?
You know, that was one of the questions that have been coming up with the entire offseason. Like, are you going to extend Derrick Henry? We knew he wanted to be a Raven, but I think it's great because now you can build on that success that they had with him in year one. And I won't even say that they had to learn to gel because I feel like after like the first couple of weeks, I mean, how much gelling do you have to learn with Derrick Henry? But now they know his strengths. Like him and Lamar were like this. They know Derrick Henry's strengths. They know how to use him. So I think we'll see, if barring no injuries, I think we'll see another great season from Derrick Henry. And that run game for the Ravens is so important. They are a team that is physical and that runs the ball. So having a running back like Derrick Henry is a win. But let's not forget they have the combination of Derrick Henry, Justice Hill, if Keaton Mitchell is back to full strength. They all bring something different to the table. So that's a heck of a running back group.
Absolutely. I was just cracking up. I was like, okay, while everybody's over here scrolling through X, doing all the search terms, here they go. I'm like, they sure are quiet. What's going on over there? And here we are.
Okay. And we found out what was going on. They was over there taking care of business because who cares what the schedule is if you don't have the players that you need?
Yeah, exactly. It's like now you can release your schedule. Okay.
Yes.
I was like, that's so, what was the show called? But I said it today. I was like, that's so Ravens. Like while everybody's talking about this, okay, here we go. They're great. But
focus on something else more important.
Exactly. Now, another big thing that I do want to ask you about is the Ravens releasing Justin Tucker. So I said, okay, after rookie camp, I'm like, Tyler Luke must have did his thing. He must have been kicking the ball 80 yards or something because they said, all right, Justin, you can go now.
Well, he made all his kicks that I did see. He was only able to go back like maybe 40, 50 yards because they was using the other side of the field for practice, but he made all his kicks that I saw. So yeah. Really I mean, there is a good point that that has been made amongst the media is it would have been really hard for Tyler Luke to compete for a job with Justin Tucker there. Like, let's just keep it a buck. And it's an unfortunate end to a career, though. You know what I mean? Justin Tucker was considered one of the NFL's greatest kickers of all time. So to end your career on this note, a team that you have been with for so long, and granted, the Ravens probably can't explicitly say it because the NFL investigation is still going on and they probably don't want no issues. But because of his decision making, you know, this is how his career ended. So I think that's a little sad to go out like that. But it's a new season.
Yeah.
You know, the Ravens got 2 rookie kickers. I kind of want them to try to see if they could scoop up a veteran, though, just back up, especially if this ends up being a Super Bowl contending team, it would just make me feel better to have a veteran on the roster, a veteran kicker on the roster, just in case. I haven't seen much of Tyler Loop except for rookie minicamp. I saw some videos online where he kicked from 70 yards.
Okay.
So I have faith that he can do his thing, but it's a different level when you get to the playoffs and Super Bowl and things like that. So we'll see how that all plays out. But at the end of the day, it is a kicking competition, but I think it's Tyler Loop season at this point.
Yeah, that pressure, having to make the kick to win the game gets real fast.
It's real.
Loud, it's loud, and it's cold or whatever it is out there. It could
Yeah.
be so.
And Justin Tucker definitely had his struggles last year,
Mm-hmm.
but I think what gave everyone solace is knowing but this is still Justin Tucker.
Right.
Uh, it's going to take some time to see what Tyler Loop is about, but he has an opportunity to prove himself. But the Ravens, they really went searching for a kicker, though. So I got to believe they found what they felt was the best option out there for them.
Right. Yep. Sure does feel like it and look like it. And we know that's not the evaluation staff to not thoroughly consider all options. So,
Right.
all righty, Carita. Well, everybody, NFL schedule is out. And there you go.
The season
Listen.
has officially begun.
Yeah, I guess here we are. It
Yes,
really has begun now. So, Carita, I know you're going to be at some off-season workouts, and I know you'll be posting and doing all that good stuff. And we'll have it all on the Bowie TV YouTube page. You all make sure you're following Carita on X and all the other places as well to see all of her great content. And you all listen. I think we both have to go. Are you at OTAs May 28th?
I got to remember what the dates
This is
are.
the last week of May. I mean, I know there's other dates as well, but
OTAs. OTAs is the end of the month, and then mandatory mini camp is like, I believe, a week or two later.
Yep. We'll be out there all around the same time. So if you haven't caught up on all the Ravens rookie mini camp content that's on the channel, please do so. Plenty of press conferences, interviews, shorts, all of that good stuff. Carita has it all.
Yes.
So, all righty, you guys, trust me. This is, like Carita just said, it's the start of the season. So you all will be seeing a lot of us again soon. Talk to you later.